Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Untethered Live on a Wednesday night, finally. I'm your host, Jake Johnson, and tonight we are having technical difficulties. As always, it looks like it's spittering and sputtering, and I'm not receiving a lot of outgo. And now I've got a yellow warning sign saying I'm not sending out enough video. I'm doing the best I can do, folks. I can only pay for it for so much. I'm giving it everything I got, and it still won't work. Everything looks right. I can't see any issues. All I can do is close everything and hope for the best. Let me know if you guys see me. I don't have any idea if I'm streaming or not. Everything is going haywire around here. I'm going to try refreshing the page and see if that does it. It does not. But I'm here, and I'm just going to keep rocking and rolling and keeping them doggies moving. Bobberan. Amanda says I'm good, so I'm good. All right. How is everybody? Welcome to the show. It's a little unnerving tonight. I guess the weather is spotty. John H. is here. You get the gold star for being first in chat this time around. I don't know who was first in chat to start with. I've had to go through 3 different iterations of the page before it finally took it. There goes all that ad revenue. I managed to get 1 product placement. Yay. Hey, John, how are you? I think it may be YouTube playing up. It might be. It might be. I've heard rumors of them messing with people's CPU speeds and stuff for them doing things they don't like. I don't know if it's true or not. All I know is I just bought internet. I have internet. I bought the expensive internet. I paid $10 more a month so that I have fast internet, equal upload speeds. And I just keep having trouble with it. It aggravates the daylights out of me. I'm working as hard as I can go, and nothing wants to let up and let me get a little ahead. I'm sorry, it's not your fault. I shouldn't be yelling at you. Linda Davis is here. Hello, darling. Am I in the right place now? Yes. Yes, you are. I'm wondering that myself, but I'm working. All right. Amanda says, if it'll stop buffering, I can't stop it. I don't know. I bet you I'm not getting 60 megabytes of upload speed. I promise you that. That's what I'm supposed to be getting, but that's not what's happening right now. You're good now. Okay. Linda Davis says, hold on. Linda Davis says, can you use your phone as a hotspot? Not for this, no. No, I'm basically running a television studio from my computer and my studio. It's audio and lights and cameras and the whole 9 yards. The phone can't handle it. Believe me, I'd be doing that if it were. I mean, I can go from my phone. I can just hold the phone and broadcast through my phone, but I can't run the studio with it. John C. says, see you and hear you. That's all that matters, I guess. We'll turn this sucker into an audio podcast. I'll just turn the camera off. Y'all don't need to see me anyway. Huh. Here. Audio podcast, Jake Johnson style. Here we go. Linda Davis says, I see you. All right. Well, you make it worthwhile. I'll come back just for you. Aggravating. Nugget, here's your gold star, buddy. You deserve it. And Amanda says, hi, Nugget and Linda. And John says, hi, Linda, lovely, heart. Debbie's here. She says, Black Heart, You going to talk about me? I was talking about me, but it's nice to know I have a kindred spirit. Debbie, how are you, sweetheart? Nice to see you. I liked you guys' videos today. I saw them. Debbie's and Linda's and Amy's. I'm watching. And Dennis Bigfoot's. Amanda says, hey, Debbie. And Linda, how you doing, hon? Heart. Big heart. Big heart. And Linda says, hi, John, Amanda, and Debbie. And Amanda says, I see you too much. Talking about me? You talking to me? No, you talking to me? I see me too much, too. Don't feel bad. I have to stare at myself all day. I do have a nice, hot, rewarding, lovely cup of coffee, though. Don't you want to have a cup of coffee with me? If so, go to the kitchen, pour yourself a nice, hot cup of coffee. If you don't have a cup, you might can find one in the description below. I don't know if it's posted, but if it's there, check it out. If it ain't, tough. That's YouTube for you. Anyway, like, subscribe, share, support, join. Super chats are available in the chat box if you feel so inclined, or hit that Cash App, sign Jake Johnson Band, and I'll get all of it, which is lovely. And one last thing. Go over to facebook.com/UntetheredLive family and check out what we got going on over there. It's a great place to hang out, share pictures, videos, texts, and chats, and get to know one another outside of YouTuberverse and their oppressive little fingers. And me misreading and misrepresenting everything you say with my black heart and my fluoridated pineal gland and my calcified liver and my stony galls and all that good stuff. And Amanda says, yuppers, you mister. I'm with you. How are you ladies doing? Never mind me. How about you? It's going back again, saying I don't have enough video packets to maintain a smooth stream, so it's going to get choppy, I guess. Black hearts. I love it. I love the black hearts. There's a meme idea. I mean, a emoji idea. A Jake head with a big black heart under it. What? I know I'm choppy. It's all right. It's the best I can do right now. But I tell you what I am going to do. I am going to risk making it choppier, and I'm going to launch a website here and do a internet speed test real quick. Just see what the damn problem is. If it'll load. I have a green light on the router. Oh, we have excellent. Okay. Where you at? Come on. Damn internet. How are you ladies and gentlemen doing today? What did you have for dinner? I had scrambled eggs, grits, and jelly toast and bacon, and it was lovely. I love breakfast for dinner. Do I have a web page? Is it gonna come? There we go. I just want to see. Let's go with the Ookla Global Broadband Speed Test. That seems to be the good one. Ladies and gentlemen, for your viewing pleasure, Jake's shitty internet speed. Are you guys just not talking, or did I get kicked? Oh, there we go. John says, I had pie, mash, and liquor. Pie, mash, and liquor. I don't know what that is, but it sounds dirty, and I like it. Amanda says, Debbie says, box mac and cheese for dinner. Hey, there's some good stuff there. Box mac and cheese. I prefer the baked kind of mac and cheese. I guess you'd call that a macaroni casserole, but it's good, whatever it is. I prefer that to the boxed, the boiled. But I have eaten many dinners of boiled macaroni and cheese. Going to John's house for dinner, right on. Yeah, he always has something good to eat. And Linda Davis says, nothing. You want me to send you something to eat, Linda? I will. I will send somebody to your house right now. All right, here goes the speed test. Looks like I got 31 download speed. Oh, no, 25. Hold on. 28 download speed. And there's the problem. My upload speed is 1.6. 28 download, 1 up. Does that sound right to anybody? Okay, it topped out at 2.8 upload speed. That's what means my internet, the upload speed is what sends the video out to YouTube, right? Download is like when you go to a website and you pull the website off of the internet onto your computer so you can see it. You see it load up. That's download. Upload is when you broadcast out. And it looks like I'm only getting 2.8, and that's not what I'm paying for. They need to fix that. I mean, there better be a phone call to Brightspeed tomorrow. And a mean one at that. Whatever y'all did, come out here and fix my shit. John says, I only cook homemade food. Well, I hope so. It'd be weird if you were cooking food made at my house. Or I cook neighbor-made food. That's how I eat. I go over to my neighbors and use their stove and eat. Amanda says, oh, Linda, hun, hugs. I guess I missed one. Hang on. I missed a bunch. I'm sorry. Amanda says, yes, Debbie, dinner of champions at Macaroni and Cheese. And Debbie says, I'm going to John's house for dinner. And Amanda says, Linda, you got to eat, hon. And Rachel's here. She says, hi. Hi, Rachel. How are you, sweetheart? Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well today. Amanda says, hi, Rachel. And Linda says, I had a big bowl of anxiety. Oh, listen. After the podcast, why don't you call me and you make you a sandwich, and I'll sit and talk to you while you eat. That way I know you eat and you get to relax and blow off some steam. Okay? Amanda says, well, if you cook it at home, it makes it homemade. That was kind of my point. Linda says, I ate earlier today. Well, I'm glad you ate something today. I'm sorry you're feeling anxious, but, you know, we love you. And in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Even Steven. Just focus on that. Don't think about anything but that. For 5 minutes, just think about that. In 2,000, 1,000, out 2,000, 1,000. And just relax. That'll help. And know that you're loved and you have friends that will jump at your beck and call. No questions asked, no strings attached. And Vera says she had she must have shopped at the same store you did, Linda. She had a big bowl of anxiety and depression. Same thing for you, Vera. In for 2 seconds, out for 2 seconds. In through the nose, out through the mouth. 5 minutes. Just think about that. Nothing but that. Focus on getting it right. In 2 seconds, out 2 seconds. In 2 seconds, out 2 seconds. Don't let your mind wander. Keep it focused on the breathing. 5 minutes. I promise, as sure as my name is Jake Johnson, that it'll do you a world of good. Amanda says, okay, Linda, don't make me have to check on you every day. Linda says, I'm good, Amanda, no worries. I've been there, I feel you. John says, prayers to everyone, and to you, John. Let's have a good night tonight. Let's think about something happy. Amanda says, okay, good. And Vera says, I'm doing terrible. My dog died, and she had 3.4 tumors on her spleen and seized out in front of me. I'm living on pain pills, and I'm not alive. Yeah, you got to fix that. You got to back off of those things. I know it's hard. I've been there. Trust me. I was taking a bunch of them myself. I live in pretty constant agony, like the kind that would make most people cry and in terror and pain and frustration and all the other things. And so for a while, I was eating handfuls of those things for like 20 years. And I had to quit. And when I made the decision to quit, I quit cold turkey, which is why I looked very sweaty for about a year. And now I'm doing much, much better. But you have to go through it to get through it. I'll tell you again. I've told you before. I will tell you again. Go down to your local smoke shop and pick up some Zen or 7-Zen, 7-hydroxymetrozanine. That's what that is. This costs about $21, and it will get you through no withdrawals. But you have to take it slow and get through it. That's the only way you're going to do it. One day at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Slowly. Till it's finished. That's it. I love you, and I know you have the strength, and I know you have a good heart, and I know you have the courage. You just have to put it into action now. It's time. I'll be here for you every step of the way if you wish. You have my phone number, and if you don't, I'll give it to you. John says, I used to be a chef like years ago, as did I, Mr. John. Nice. I studied under a 5-star chef. I never quite made it to the star thingy, but I learned a few things from him. Angela says, hello, everyone. Hello, sweet lady. Nice to see you today. Amanda says, hi. And Angela says, I thought it was Tuesday. It's Wednesday. Sure as I am me. Angela says, I'm glad to see it isn't. Me too. Because if it was Tuesday, that means I still have 3 or 4 days to go. Angela says, Amanda Hart. And Linda Davis says, I'm good. I don't really need to vent anymore about it. I just have to put my big girl panties on and make a move and move on. That's right, darling. Well, you got a friend if you need one. And I have a fair amount of experience. You know I'm a collector. I've got a whole shelf of those, so I'm here for you if you need it. And Amanda says, Rachel, she's with God now, the puppy, and no more pain, and she's running free and soaking up all the sunshine she wants, and it's not your fault. That's right. Things get old, they die, they have problems, but she's with the Father now, and that's the best place on earth to be, or anywhere else, for that matter. John says, hi, Vera and Debbie and Angela. Angela says, ho, John. I think she just called you a hoe, John. Sorry. You saw behind the curtain. Never mind what's behind the curtain. Pay no attention. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. And Linda says, nothing like a man that can cook, John Hart. He sounds like he's a good cook, too. Everything he's ever mentioned he's cooked has been big and grand. I don't even know what he said, a pie and something else. Mash, I guess that's mashed potatoes. I don't know. And I'm guessing pie is some kind of meat. I don't know. I'm not British. And Angela says, oops, hi, John. He knew what you meant. Amanda says, and has yet to cook for me, LOL. Oh, me? Right. I have yet to cook for you. That's right. I need to fix that, don't I? And Amanda says, that's right, Linda. We love you, and it will be all right. Absolutely. Retired collector now, says Amanda. Right. Well, you're right about that. Unless you fall off the shelf, and then I'll be back at it. I'm not going to go anywhere, but, people do weird things. John says, we're all here for everyone who needs it. Heart, heart. I agree. Thank you, John. Angela says, I made meatloaf with barbecue sauce and bacon with mashed potatoes and gravy and green beans for dinner. Oh, we're all going to your house for dinner. That sounds delicious. I haven't had meatloaf in a long time. John says, I wish. Right on. And Amanda says, nice, Angela. John says, when I was 18, I cooked for Princess Margaret. Really? Interesting. Nice. Dan Cooper says, I had a chronic illness for 3 years. Nice way to start a convo, Dan. Been really bad lately. I pray that I can find the right solution and the funds for it. Well, what kind of chronic illness is it, Dan, since we're sharing? What's ailing you? What can I do to help? Amanda says, LOL, you have to off me first. Well, I might do that, but not right now. Right now, I'm enjoying the coffee. Angela says, it's really easy to make, and I love the bacon on top. You put the bacon on top of the meatloaf? It's interesting. And Debbie says, hands, Amanda, some duct tape. Stay on the shelf and be careful, LOL. Right on. I don't plan on her going nowhere either. Dan says, long haul COVID. I have that. You hear it every time I talk. I was a singer 2 years ago. Amanda says, LOL, right, Debbie? And Linda says, it's strange this time. I guess I'm just so disgusted by it all, and I'm feeling pretty strong this time. Well, I know you are strong, and it's a disgusting thing to feel. Don't feel like you're feeling anything unusual. That's the right, appropriate response for what's happening. I don't know why people do what they do. To me, it seems like people just do things to spite themselves. You got a good thing going, just tear it up for no reason. I don't understand that. I also don't understand people's capacity not to want to work things out with somebody they claim to love. If it's a problem, sit down and talk about it. Get over the anger part, fight if you have to, but then sit down and have a discussion like adults and fix it. That's how I think. I don't know why everybody doesn't think that way. I guess you have to be that kind of person to understand, because I don't. Angela says, yep, bake the bacon right on top, coated with barbecue sauce. Well, see, I've put ketchup on meatloaf before, but never barbecue sauce. That's different. I have seen some people make mustard-based meatloaf. I make the ketchup-based meatloaf like the rednecks do. Dan says, severe neurological issues, including PTSD, severe pain on my right side. I've been to Mayo and back. Well, stay away from mayonnaise. It's bad for you. And as far as the PTSD, I have a solution for you, but you're not going to like it. Rich S says, hey, what's up, Rich? Nice to see you, my friend. Come on in. As far as PTSD goes, it really is this simple. Learn how to breathe. If you can do that, you can control it. However, most people cannot. So, mushrooms. Go find you some of those special mushrooms and take a little run. That'll help. I'll give you my word on it. Be prepared to have your ego destroyed, though. Amanda says, hi, Rich. And Vera says, Amanda, I cussed God out the other day. Only time I legit feel anger. I have dealt with a lot of trauma, but losing her, God took my soul when he took her, and she was everything to me. Well, first of all, God did not take her. You have to understand, you have to get a grip that everything that lives also dies. Everything. God didn't take her. That's the nature of humanity. And all things that live, all things wherein there is the breath of life, will eventually stop breathing. That's just the nature of life. This thing that we call life is 100% fatal. No one has ever survived it, and no one ever will, except for those whom Jesus touched. And that was done for a specific reason. That being said, it's all right if you cussed God out, as long as you understand that you need to come back from that. Being angry with God is okay. In fact, I'll give you a little secret about the Bible. The word Israel, Jacob, he had to wrestle with God for a while to get a blessing. And he won. He got the blessing. And God changed his name from Jacob to Israel during that period. The word Israel, if you transliterate that word, it literally translates to wrestle with God, which means if you're not struggling with it, you're not Christianing right. The whole idea is to struggle with it and to push back and to find out who you are, find out what makes the world tick, find out where the boundaries are by pushing against it. That's quite all right to do. Nobody's going to hold that against you, not even God. He also is very intelligent. He understands this world. He understands what you're going through, and he understands the meaning of things to you. I promise you, he's smart enough to understand why you were angry. But you have to work through that. You have to get through that to the other side, to where you start thinking about it rationally. Grief is a rough thing, and it happens to us all. But I promise you, if you'll stay strong and keep your head about you, you will get through this. And God will be waiting there when you get through it. Debbie says, we smoke meatloaf with barbecue sauce. I would love to try that. That sounds good. Linda says, you have to be able to compromise and think about what the other person needs. True. Very true. It's very hard to work on a relationship when only one party is holding it up. A love is like a fine wine glass, a fine crystal wine glass. You hold your hand up and you place the wine glass right here in your hand, like so. And the other person places their hand on the wine glass like so. That's love. And as long as you two are holding that wine glass together, love can contain all the wine you want to pour in it. But as soon as one person lets go, it falls. Both parties have to be vigilant on holding that relationship together. It's a job. It's a choice. It is a proactive movement from both parties to have a relationship. Nobody is exactly like anybody else. There's always going to be friction. There's always going to be traumas and troubles and disagreements and downright disgusted with each other times. And, you have to work through that stuff. You have to figure out a way to navigate it for each other, both holding it together. As soon as somebody quits, the whole thing falls and shatters, and you can't fix broke. But if you're willing to work on it, you can get through anything. Vera says, but you still have my Angus, who is my everything too, but I'm struggling. But I still have my Angus. Angus, I don't know who Angus is. Is that another dog? Is it an animal? Another dog. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're not alone. But like I said, if you need my number, let me know. I'll send it to you and we'll talk. I'm here for you. Amanda says, well, it's something you can't change or do anything about. No reason to be mad. And she would not outlive you. You will find another one that's a lot like her and ease your pain. Oh, well, maybe. Maybe that's the right idea. Maybe you should go down to the pound and rescue a little runt. Or maybe not. Consider the options is all I'm saying. Consider the options with the idea of moving forward in mind. That way you can always be working towards the goal of getting past whatever is holding you down. Life is going to continue regardless of how you feel about it. It's much, much better to be going with it than to be having it drag you along. I promise. I've been there too. I just gave up for a while, threw my hands up, and let everything just happen. So whatever happened, happened. I didn't try to actively do anything. For 15 years, I was like that. It's time to stop that. Amanda says, facts, Linda. Right on. Rich S says, I am a snob for not liking meatloaf for reasons other than not liking the taste. It's delicious. So why don't you like meatloaf? What's the other reason? What else could there be? But no, you're not a snob. If you don't like meatloaf, you don't like meatloaf. Everybody don't like the same thing. Linda says, you can't have a relationship if there are too many players or not enough. That's another problem, too. If there's too many people involved, there's only 2 people can hold a wine glass. 3 people will make you drop it. You're right about that. And Amanda says, true, Linda. And Linda says, Rich, meatloaf is a comfort food. Ice cream is a comfort food. Angela, anything with chocolate in it is a comfort food. Angela says, try it sometime. I can send you the recipe. It's in my head, but I would write it down for you. Nice. We'll send it to Amanda on Facebook, and she'll cook it. She's the head of the kitchen around here. I dare not make any decisions in there without her permission. John says, it sounds weird, but I go off in a field and shout my ass off, and sometimes to let some steam off. That doesn't sound weird at all. There's all kinds of ways of handling anger and releasing that anger in a scream or hitting a pillow or running as fast as you can for 15 seconds, something like that. All good ways to handle anger outside of going and picking a fight with somebody and getting your ass beat, which is also cathartic. I mean, it'll help, but I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you like having teeth. But there are many, many constructive ways to handle the plethora of emotions that come your way as an adult human being. Not all of them are obvious. Some of them are a little master skill level type stuff, and I'll be glad to teach you some of that if you're interested in learning it. I am a master at manipulating self. So if you want to know, I can teach you some techniques, but you got to be willing to try, and you got to be willing to trust, because the stuff that I know, you don't pick up on your own very easily. I should be teaching a class on it, but I'll give it to you for free if it'll help. John said, I read that one. Amanda says, message me or email it to us, Angela, at untetheredlivestream@gmail.com. One way or the other. You can messenger on Facebook or you can email me directly, however you want to do it. Patty's here. She says, howdy, folks. Hi, Patty. How are you doing, darling? Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well today. And most of all, I hope you're happy. Angela says, I make chicken and dumplings a lot. That's a comfort food. I love a good pot of chicken and dumplings, too. Do you put eggs in your chicken and dumplings? They do around here, and pepper. I was wondering. I know there's different ways of doing it. They like make deviled eggs. Not deviled eggs, boiled eggs. I guess they take the yolk out and just cut the egg in quarters. Or like little slivers, half moons, whatever you want to call it. And they slice them up and put them in there. It's actually good, but I didn't know if you did that or not. And also a lot of pepper. It's very spicy around here. North Carolina is very unique in their food. They do things here they don't do anywhere else, like the vinegar in the pork, like chili on a hamburger, which makes no sense to me at all. It's already made of hamburger meat. I don't want soupier hamburger on top of my hamburger. That doesn't make any sense. But they do it. That's what a hamburger all the way is here. You'd think a hamburger all the way means hamburger, cheese, lettuce, tomato, onions, ketchup, mustard, pickles, right? Nope. Here it is hamburger, chili. It's coleslaw if you're really wanting to go all the way. Coleslaw on the hamburger. I'm Southern as it gets, and that sounds weird to me. Amanda says, hi, Patty. Patty cake, baker's man. Roll 'em up, throw 'em in the pan. Patty says, it's Patty. Linda Davis says, hi, Patty. Patty says, Miss Amanda, Miss Linda. Angela says, Debbie, I've never smoked my meatloaf. Well, how do you get it to stay in the paper? Imagine it's soggy. John says, hi, Patty, heart. And Amanda says, and Rachel? Hang on. And Rachel, you will always have her memories. Yes, memories are a wonderful tool to venerate the dead. Rachel says, Angus is my other dog. Angus and Sweet Pea grew up together. So Sweet Pea's the one that passed. Angus is the one that's still with you. Okay. Well, Angus is a special dog. Show her love. Maybe she'll appreciate that. Debbie says, Angela, it is good. And we use a blend of oak and hickory. Nice. Yeah, I definitely would like to have that recipe. Patty says, hi. John from England. I get so excited about talking to someone from another country. Aw. Well, you kids have at it. John's a good conversationalist. Rachel says, I had them for 11 years. Still have Angus. I helped him because he was abused, and he is my everything too. I'm sure he loves you very much. I have 4 litters of kitties running around here in various stages, like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. The biggest ones are running around and eating regular food now, but the littlest ones are newborn, and they're all over the place. You got to watch where you're stepping. You might step on a kitty cat when you walk outside. They're everywhere, meowing all over the place. It's wonderful. I love life. Debbie says the key to a good meatloaf is to have more meat than loaf. I would imagine so, yeah. The key to a good meatloaf is to have a wife who knows that stuff. Because me, it'd be hamburger meat with ketchup on it in a bowl in the microwave. Meatloaf. Yeah. Angela says, when my Lucy passes, I've decided I'm going to adopt an old dog from the shelter and spoil it for the rest of its life and just keep doing that. I'm not starting with another puppy again. I hear you. I don't even want an animal, and I've got animals out my ears right now. I guess when you show love, you just got to show love. It don't matter if you want to or not. Rachel says, also, when someone dies, I always believe it is because God wanted them back. Well, that's a good way to look at it. And if so, then that's actually a very good thing. Imagine not being wanted by God. That would suck. If he wants you back enough to take you out of this world, number one, he wants to spare you from this. And number two, he must really love you. That's a beautiful thought. That's a good one to keep. Fab Daddy, what's up? He says, happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, camel. Nice to see you, Fab. How you doing, buddy? Angela says, Debbie, that does sound good. And Amanda says, no, it's because he has something way better planned with him. Absolutely. For them, with them. Yes. Yeah, God has a place that is unimaginable. I can give you an example that would pale in comparison, but the spectrum of light goes all the way from ultraviolet to infrared and infinite in both directions. The only purpose light has, the only function it serves, is to be seen. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't affect anything. It's not part of physics. It's just there. And the only reason it's there is to be seen. And the only thing that can see it are things that have eyeballs. So God created light as a special gift just for people. But we can only see this much of the very center of the spectrum, right there in the middle, just a little sliver of visible light. We can't see that way or that way into infinity, but it's there. It does exist. Only nothing on earth at present can see it. But it serves no other purpose but to be seen. Which leads me to believe that when you get your spiritual body, you will be able to experience all of the light spectrum. Sound is exactly the same. Scent is exactly the same. All of your five senses are exactly the same. We can only experience a little bit of it, but there's so much out there. Could you imagine having a mind that could mix senses, where you could smell colors or taste the flavor of shapes? You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of life you have in store for you in heaven, and that's just what I can imagine off the top of my head. Imagine the things I can't imagine that are there. It's quite fascinating. Amanda says, hi, Fab Daddy. John says, hi, Fab. And Linda says, that's great, Angela. That's the best idea I've heard. Right on. Fab Daddy says, teach me, teacher. And if I don't listen, what's the penance? Well, since you asked, if you don't listen, you are doomed to forever be a moron. Because you have to listen in order to gain knowledge. And if you refute someone because you don't think they can teach you anything, you're not very observant, because one of the first things you learn is out of the mouth of babes. The smallest child can say the most profound thing that has never occurred to you before, just because they looked at something a little differently than you ever have. That's where inspiration comes from, is by being receptive to the universe. And if you don't listen, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Everyone can teach you something, especially people who master in wisdom, who sell and trade in the commodity of wisdom. If you don't listen to that person, you might have had your sights a little too high for the world, and you might be smelling your own farts and getting high on them. But I don't think you're that guy, are you? Only a fool would never listen, especially if someone's telling you something you don't already know. Patty says, I agree, Miss Linda. Right on. And Amanda says, North Carolina is weird in their food. THEIR, food. Yes, they are. Fab Daddy says, I got a big gulp of Mountain Dew. I'm with you, buddy. Me too. Back up for my coffee. Oops, super big gulp. Oh, you got one of those real tall, fat cups you can't hardly hold on to with one hand. Yeah, that's the government saying they really want you to survive, isn't it? Linda says, Pennsylvania is too, Amanda. Kind of strange. Amanda says, New York is Yankee food. Fab Daddy says, how far behind are we? Not too far. We've only had to restart the chat or restart the stream like 3 times to get it going. And now that it's going, we're not so far behind. Amanda says, about 5 minutes. Linda says, I don't think so, Amanda. You can't get food. You can't get good bagels, bread, or pizza down there. I don't know if I've ever had real, what people classify real pizza. I don't think they cook it around here like they do up north. That's one thing I know for sure that they're good at, is that sort of like falafels and pastrami's and the word I'm looking for is slipping my mind. Chef Boyardee, you know what I'm talking about. Raviolis and stuff like that. I've never eaten any New York style food, and I don't particularly care to, but I would probably dabble if I was there. I don't even know what a falafel is. I've just heard it on television. Angela says, thank you, Linda. Animals should not pass of old age in a shelter. No, they should pass of old age in the wilderness. Like they're animals. But we anthropomorphize animals, so we put our emotions on them. And that's why they have to be domesticated. Amanda says, LOL, well, that's true, Linda. And Linda says, I totally agree, Angela. And Debbie says, I got to consult Puff the Magic Dragon on how to smoke the meatloaf. Little Johnny Papers can help too. Have a lot of Johnny Papers. I think it's tough to roll meat up in a wax paper that's designed to roll meat up in it. I couldn't imagine doing it with a piece of rolling paper. I don't know why I'm taking that analogy so seriously. It's just a joke. And here I am trying to imagine it. Angela says, nope, I haven't added eggs, but I have thought about adding cheese. That's probably a good idea. Try the eggs one time. Just boil you some eggs and take the yolks out and use it for something else, but take the whites and cut it in little chunks and just add it in there. Not too much, but enough to give it a little bit of extra something, and a couple of dashes of pepper, and see what you think about it. I found it to be pretty interesting. And they use like real shredded chicken. I guess they bake it, and then they strip it off the bone. Maybe they boil it. I don't know. Then they strip it off the bone and add it in as chunks with the dumplings. And my mother, when she made them, she would go buy pre-made dumplings, like they sell them in a pack. But when I learned how to cook, I learned how to make the dumplings from scratch. So I guess you could do it either way. It doesn't really matter. Dough is dough. You could probably even use canned biscuits to make dumplings out of, or something like that. But to each his own, I guess. Good is good. And I could live on chicken. Angela says, Linda, heart, and LOL, Debbie. Amanda says, LOL, oh, not, Jake. I'll make you meatloaf. You're not allowed to cook in the microwave. I hear you. John H. says, what's a microwave? It's a little tiny burst of electricity. About that big. And Amanda says, exactly, Nugget. I hardly ever use one. I use them all the time. They're very convenient. Don't forget, when I was living alone, I basically lived on microwave food. I didn't ever cook. Buy burritos or TV dinners or something like that. Not a very healthy lifestyle, I can tell you that. I'm eating very good now, though. Thank you. Angela says, LOL, Amanda. I have 2 roommates, and I cook, always. One can't, but the other, well, she would rather do the dishes, so I cook. I love to cook, and I even cook just for them often. And they like Italian food. Well, that's awful lovely of you to cook for your roommates. That's very nice. And it's also good that you have somebody to wash the dishes so you don't have to. That's always nice. I don't know about that whole I cook, you wash the dishes rule. That don't seem to work that well for me. But if you got somebody that'll offer to do it, take them up on it. Amanda says, we have a convection microwave, but I only use it for simple stuff, popcorn, etc. Right on. It's a good microwave. It's old, but it does the job. And it doesn't leave your food all rubbery like some microwaves do because it uses hot air. I'm not exactly sure how it works. I think it has a regular microwave filament in it, but it uses hot air also. It's called a convection microwave. Angela says, I can't have red sauce or I'm up all night with a heartburn from my GERD. GERD. That word is about this long in real life. That's why they call it GERD. I can't even pronounce that word. Amanda says, cool, Angela. I like to cook too. She's good at it. Except eggs. I don't know why. I might teach her how to make them fluffy and yellow. John H. says, popcorn in a saucepan with some butter. Right on. I don't like popcorn because they get under my teeth, but I love the taste of popcorn. But I hate eating popcorn. Amanda says, right, Angela? And Linda says, I couldn't even go to my house when my Jack Russell Leroy Brown died. I was so heartbroken, and now I have Doc, and he is a dachshund that I rescued from the hurricanes in Puerto Rico. Nice. Them dachshunds are funny to watch. They got an attitude, and their belly rubs the ground. Kind of makes me wonder about boys. Amanda says, well, I usually do that, Nugget. But I will get the microwave bags for quick late night snacks or movie snacks. Yeah. Angela says, Amanda, it's a simple recipe. I mix the eggs and ingredients in a bowl together. First, then I mix that into the hamburger. And I also don't use a loaf pan. I use a deep cookie dish or a deep cookie sheet. So you got like a wide, flat meatloaf? That's weird. Are you talking like an inch deep or 2 inches deep? I'm picturing a cookie sheet like you'd cook pizza rolls on or something. Patty says, what's the topic? Well, right now it seems to be meatloaf. Whatever you want it to be, honey. We could talk about fluoridated pineal glands and calcified livers and black hearts, like mine. Or we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Amanda says, yeah, Angela, I use a casserole dish when I make meatloaf. I don't care what you use as long as it's meaty and ketchupy. I like ketchup on my meatloaf. Yes, I'm a redneck. Amanda says, food, Patty. John says, bacon and onion dumplings. Ew. That might actually be good. Can't imagine it. Amanda says, no more chicken. I'm chickened out. Well, fine, chicken out. I'm tough enough. I can handle it. I don't care. I could survive off of chicken. I could eat chicken 5 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever. There's plenty of forms of chicken. But I also like other things. Pork chops. It's about pork chop time again. Angela says, Linda, my Lucy is a Jack Russell and a Beagle mix. And she can't swim. She can't swim a lick. Her legs are way too short. That's funny. Can't even doggy paddle, which is how they swim. I guess not. Debbie says, my mom would make biscuit dough and roll it up and with a chunk of cheese in the center of her dumplings. That actually sounds like it might be good all by itself. I'm trying to picture the taste of dumplings, chicken and dumplings with cheese. I've never had that before. Interesting. Amanda says, that's right. You're welcome. Absolutely. And LOL, I cook and do the dishes. And I work day and night, so we're even. Angela says, good idea, Amanda. I don't own a casserole dish, though. Well, we can fix that. They ain't that expensive. Kevin Bernard says, hello, Jake, and hello, everyone. Hey, Kevin. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well today. Patty says, have you already talked about the fluoride and the pineal gland? No, ma'am, not yet. Hadn't even got to it. It's just a starter conversation piece. I don't even care if we do get to it, but if you got something interesting, I'm open to hear it. Fluoride calcifies your pineal gland, by the way. It causes you not to be creative, and it causes you to be docile and easily controlled and gullible, which is why they do it. John says, hi, Kevin. Angela says, I make my own dumplings, but I can use canned biscuits if I want to be lazy. Right on. I figured you probably could use those. I don't know that you could, but I don't see why you couldn't. It's dough. It's already vaguely dumpling shaped. You just have to break it and roll it up how you want it. Amanda says, I have casserole dishes and a coming-aware baking set. Kevin says, hello, John. And Linda says, aw, Angela, mine was my best friend, Jack Russell. I got him when I was in a wheelchair, and he never left my side. Now Doc doesn't leave my side. But I did have to wait for some time before I opened my heart. Yep, that's a problem that we humans experience, the old black heart syndrome. You get tired of being hurt, you shut down for business, and sometimes it's hard to get where you can open back up. But I assure you, listen to me very carefully, everybody. Life is so short, and the older you get, the faster it goes. Believe me, the difference between 30 and 50, night and day. When I was 30 years old, a day felt like 24 hours. Now that I'm 50, it's over like that. It just comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. Weeks are passing by. I'm starting to see weeks, whole weeks, just go by without even knowing where the time went. I assure you, it is so much more important to allow yourself to love, because that's one of the only things on planet Earth that you can experience internally and take it with you. There's nothing else on Earth that will transcend life except love. That's the only thing. That is the unique qualifier of human beings. We can love. Animals don't love. They need, they lust, they hunger, they fear, but they don't love. Not the way I'm talking about. They might have affection. That's not the same thing. It's always a better idea to open your heart. So, when you shut down for business, keep that in mind and allow yourself the courtesy of being able to experience friendship or closeness, or allow someone to get next to you again. Yes, it'll hurt if you get broken again. Yes, it'll suck, but it's way more worth not having anything at all. And sadly enough, me telling you that ain't going to make much difference. You have to experience it. The problem with experiencing emptiness is that by the time you've experienced it, it's a regret that you can't take back. If you experience emptiness, loneliness, unconnectedness for any length of time, you might become institutionalized to that feeling, and it is so hard to get away from that once you've got there. Trust me, it's much, much, much better to experience a possible broken heart again than to have your heart turn black, because nothing is worse than emptiness. Nothing. If you've ever heard me say anything, hear me say that. Nothing is worse than emptiness. Amanda says, hi, Kevin. And Kevin says, hello, Amanda. And Linda says, hi, Kevin. And Amanda says, WTF. Okay. Make your own eggs then. Okay. Kevin says, hello, Linda. Rich S says, what happens when you roll your loaf into balls? Well, Rich, in the country that happens in, they call that a meatball. Kevin says, hello, Rich. And Rich S says, isn't it the same damn thing? Yes. Yes, it is. A meatball. If you unfurl a meatball, you have a tiny meatloaf. And Rich says, hi, Kevin. You even use breadcrumbs. Same thing. And Amanda says, ugh, ketchup. I don't know how you do it, but that's part of the meatloaf experience. Amanda says, then you have a meatballs, Rich. A meatball. Angela says, Lucy is my best friend. I have had her for almost 11 years. She has some sort of tumor on her chest right under the skin. As soon as I start getting paid, I have to take her to have it removed. Oh, well, I hope you are successful at that. That's terrible. Dennis Bigfoot says, evening, everybody. Hey, Dennis, how's the beach treating you, buddy? Nice video work, by the way. You guys hadn't had a chance to go check it out. Go check out Dennis Bigfoot's video on his page. Somebody will drop you a link. Linda says, hi, Dennis. And Rich S says, doe, a deer, a female deer. Ray, a spot of shiny sun. Me, the guy you came to look at. So, what did you have for dinner? Fa. We're getting the fa out of here. Kevin says, hello, Dennis. And Amanda says, I saw a video today that was bologna buttermilk battered with cheese dip, fried. It looked delicious. Did it have a first name? My bologna has a first name. It's Penis. All right, sorry. Amanda says, hi, Dennis. And Dennis says, pine in your ear gland. Yep, stick that whole tree in there. Dennis says, hey, Linda. Angela says, no, my meatloaf is about the same size as a normal, but it cooks better in the bottom of the cookie sheet instead of a loaf pan. Interesting. I never thought about it. How does it keep its shape? Or do you make it the whole size of the cookie sheet? Or do you just put it in the middle of the cookie sheet and cook it like a mound? I guess that would work too. Dennis says, hey, Kevin. And Rich S says, WTF, Amanda? Why are you looking at redneck recipes? Because she's a redneck and she has to feed one. Dennis says, hey, Amanda. And Amanda says, and a video on mozzarella sticks wrapped in bacon or pepperoni battered and deep fried. That sounds good. I love mozzarella sticks too. With marinara. Yeah, buddy. Amanda says, LOL, Rich, I'm a redneck. And I have the birthmark to prove it. Amanda says, how was the beach, Dennis? Did you catch any crabs? And Amanda says, LOL, yes, he argues with me on what day it is sometimes. John says, I have cauliflower cheese and a monster-sized steak tomorrow. That sounds good. A good big old fat steak sounds delicious. Dennis Bigfoot says, nice. I went by the lake and chilled. Was that a lake? It seemed like the ocean. Angela says, mozzarella sticks with bacon. You know what else is good? Go to the store and buy you some full-size jalapenos. Slice them right down the middle and take all the stuff out of the center, fill it up with cream cheese, wrap it in bacon, roll it in flour, drop it in corn chips, crushed up fine like a Frito-Lay's corn chips, crush them up real fine, and then bake them. That's delicious. I think you might batter it and then wrap it in bacon. I can't remember. Amanda says, nice nugget. And yes, Angela, they were big and fat. I was watering at the mouth. And then she looked at the internet after she finished watching me. And here's your channel, Dennis Bigfoot. Anybody want to go check out his channel and give him a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, whatever you got to do over there? And Amanda says, LOL, that's my baloney, Jake. And it does have a first name. It's Bob. Debbie says, fa, a note to follow, sew a needle, pulling thread. LOL. Nice. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, and do. Been a while since I've thought about that. Angela says, I'm taking care of the person who broke my heart. I struggled against God for 3 days before I finally relented and gave in, and I'm happy I did. He wouldn't be alive if I hadn't. Hardest thing ever. Amen. I'm with you, Angela. It is hard, but you got to be strong. This world does not care. It will run over you and spit you out and leave you in the dust as it goes on its merry way. It'll never even look back. You have to stay up with it. So you got to be strong. You all are children of God. Act like it. You have protection. Use it. Stay standing upright no matter what the world throws at you, because you can handle it. I have faith in you. I know you can. Amanda says, you form it in a loaf and it will stay in a loaf, typically, if it's mixed correctly. Gotcha. And then it says, I started at the ocean, then I walked past the carnival to then go by the lake park. Nice. Where is there a lake next to a beach in walking distance by a carnival? That ought to be easy to pinpoint. Can't be too many places on Earth like that. I have a lake in my backyard. It's a tiny lake, but it's a lake. Patty says, we are can-do type people. We are can-do type people. Yes, we are. Can do, will do, have done, are gonna do later. Yes, ma'am. Then it says Carolina Beach. Are you in my neck of the woods? Right on. Are you, where at? Near, Emerald Isle? Or further down like, Wilmington? Ooh, Carolina girls. I'm near the big city of Greenville, in case you're wondering. Wilmington. Got it. I think we've had this conversation before. Seems like I do know this. Mm-hmm. I thought so. Forgive me. I talked to a lot of people. It's in there somewhere rattling around. Pardon me. It's been a long day today. I've been working on this really, really big t-shirt order. Like 1,000 shirts. Rich S says, have you guys heard of New Bern? Yep, I'm right down the road from New Bern. It's about 45 miles from me. New Bern, North Carolina. Why? Are you from there? Or are you currently there? I used to do a TV show there. I had a TV show and a radio station in New Bern, and I did both of them for about a year. And the TV show went off the air. It was one of those local morning shows called the AM Scuttlebutt. I don't know if you remember that or not. And they would have me on to play. And then I did a thing called NASCAR Update for Hank FM, 94.5, 94.4, something like that. 94.7, I can't remember. 94, Hank 94. Hank FM. I did NASCAR Update, and it was funny. Every Monday morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, I drove down there and did my little live recording and went home. Big lake there in New Bern, ain't it? Yeah, there's a big lake there. I didn't know it was a lake. I thought it was connected to the sound, but it might be a lake. Because you go over that big bridge there in New Bern. You know the one. And then you get into Havelock and you go on into Lake Moorhead City. And that's where Emerald Isle is, down there on the right-hand side. Rich says, Gavin Frost had a witchcraft school and church in New Bern, and they have lots of pagans there. Yep. There's also a Scottish Rite Masonic temple there. I know, because I had the pleasure of having some stuff done there. I'm not a Scottish Rite Mason, but I have been to their temple. A lot of weird things going on in New Bern, North Carolina. They got some cool bars there. They used to. I used to play at a place called Bootleggers, I think it was called there. And then Golden Margaritas. There might be one other place I played there, but I can't remember. I played up and down that stretch of road that goes all the way through. I played from Emerald Isle and what's it? Right over the bridge past Emerald Isle. What's that place called? Beaufort, North Carolina, and Moorhead City, and Havelock, New Bern, Vanceboro, Greenville, Little Washington. I've done that whole stretch. If there's a bar there, I played it. Out towards Wilson and up towards Raleigh and down towards Fayetteville, all over the place. Goldsboro, you name it. Dennis says, there's a picture of a gazebo on that lake in New Bern on my channel, by the way. Nice. I think I know the gazebo you're talking about. Is it brown? Like a dark brown color? I think I'm picturing it in my mind. I think I've been there before. You painted it. Okay. You painted the picture, not the gazebo. Got it. Nice. I'll have to go check that out. Are you a good painter? I love a good painter. My boss is a good painter. Like a fine, excellent painter. And makes me sick. I don't know how he does it. I'm artistic. I'm very creative, but I can't paint for nothing. You guys got a special skill there. I think it's the patience. I don't have the patience to paint. I mean, I got mad and slung it across the floor. Took a picture, it lasts longer. They say so, says Dennis. So, yep, I guess so. Nice. Well, you know, if you can make money at it, what my boss does, he does live wedding paintings. He'll go down there and take some pictures, have them pose for a picture, and then while they're doing the reception, he'll get started and have the outline of the painting done. And then a week later, he goes home and looks at the pictures and finishes the painting. And he makes like $3,000, $4,000 a painting doing that. And he's booked like every month. You ought to check into that if you're that good. Dennis says, that picture won me second place in a contest. Nice. Very nice. My mom got into painting one time. She was all about it. And then finally she got to talking with somebody at an art gallery, and they set up an exhibit for her. She was going to go have an exhibit of her paintings. And I was like, Mom, you can't do that. She's like, well, why not? I said, well, for one, they're paint by number. That's not the same thing. And two, if anybody finds out that they're paint by numbers, you'll be a laughingstock. Well, she went and did it and never heard nothing else about it. So I guess she got away with it. I don't know. Or maybe not. I don't know. But it was kind of embarrassing. Dennis says, just 3 or 4 colors in acrylic. Well, hey, it don't matter how many colors. Some of the finest paintings in the world only have 2 colors. Rich S says, I painted 3 scenes. Sold my first one for $6,000 to a doctor for his private practice and couldn't sell the other 2, so I quit. Now, you did pretty good if you sold one for $6,000. I've been working on an album for 25 years and I ain't never sold a single song, so that's pretty good, buddy. I consider it a damn win if I get a $50 tip. So, $6,000 for a painting, that's pretty good work right there. If you could replicate that and do that once a month, you'd be sitting pretty. Dennis says, I can or could paint anything I see, usually like a photo. I'd love to see some of your work. I love paintings. And I'll definitely promote you too. If you're trying to get into painting, send me some and I'll put them up as a backdrop. Tell everybody who did it. I helped out one guy a long time ago. I can't remember his name now, but he came in and he was a painter, and I put some of his paintings up, and he's gone on and now he does some kind of art show in Arizona. It was just a little leg up. It didn't really help him out that much, but it helped a little. It helped get his name out there. Dennis says, there's copies on my channel and most I have prints of. I'll check them out after the show. Yeah, I love any kind of artwork. People that make artwork, it just fascinates me. I'll have to talk to you. I'm getting ready to write a book, actually, that needs some illustration done. I might need to talk to you about it. How are you at, like, painting maps? Think you could do that? Amanda says, I just did. Nice work, Dennis. Did you put likes on them? Rich S says, Bob Ross inspired me 20 years ago, but I was an entrepreneurious kid with an attention span of a gnat. Me too. Yeah, I started many businesses, never finished any of them. Dennis says, maybe on the painting. We'll talk about it. Yeah, Amy was asking me for some maps about the Bible studies, and I have some maps around here that illustrate different journeys that people have been on. And I thought, well, it wouldn't do everybody good just to give one person some maps. So how could I spin that? So I thought the best way to do would be to put it in a book, and then I could write a synopsis on each map, which illustrates what's happening in the map. And then I could add a bunch of other stuff, like little vignettes of different things, like the 7 churches. I could explain that. The first paragraph in Genesis 1:1, I could explain that. Different things. I could do the family tree and explain how all the people are connected. I could do lifespans from Noah to Adam and all the people that were alive at the same time and different things. So I could make a book out of just little slivers of the Bible that need explaining. and just catalog it in one, like a coffee table book or something, and then self-publish it and put it on Amazon or something like that. I'm thinking about doing that very seriously. What do you guys think? Amanda says, well, of course I put likes on all his paintings. Nice. And Linda says, my mother and my sister are good artists. That artistic gene skipped me. I was drawing when I was a kid, and I was really good at it. But I have this problem with my neck, and my hands go numb, and it got to where it was very painful for me to hold pencils, so I had to make a choice, art or music. And I went with music, and I never drew again. So I'm not very good at drawing, but I used to be. Amanda says it was a video of them all. Okay, cool. We'll save that video, and I'll watch it after the show. Linda says, I'm the organized one that's good with money, right? That one skipped me too. I have no idea how to run a business. I have no business acumen. I was really hoping I could marry an accountant, and that way I could get my shit together, but didn't work out that way. Anyway, I'm artistic. I make things happen. That's what I do. If you want that guy, I'm your guy. If you want a guy that can build you a mall with a pocket knife, I'm not him. Dennis says, interesting. I thought so. And Amanda says, not right, Linda. And John H. says, I love David Mann work. I don't know who that is. I'll look it up, though. Angela says, I can draw a little bit. I can shade excellently, and I can paint some, too. I just don't have the time or money to get the supplies to do that kind of work. I hear you. Now, that's a big problem for me, too. If I write the book, I'm going to have to make it an ebook because I don't have the money to publish, but it's a start. Maybe if the ebook sells well, I can take that money and actually make some hard copies and sell them that way. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it needs to be done. There needs to be something that this channel produces other than me. So I'm working on it. Debbie says, I would buy that book. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it. I would need you to, because it would be a lot of work. But it needs to be done. And I'm actually kind of teaching a different way than most pastors teach. I have a different view of the world, and which I think is correct. I've done a lot of study to make sure that I'm correct, and I think that I am, but it's opposite of what everybody else teaches. So I'm definitely going to need visual aids and things to get the word out so that people can learn that new way of looking at things. And so I need to start doing that. Rich says, I also took one keyboard lesson, enough to play Christmas music from a book, and quit. I also bought a set of golf clubs, and played so bad my first time that I threw 2 clubs and quit playing. Well, it sounds like a theme here, Rich. A whole lot of quitting, that feller. You need to pick something and stick to it, buddy. It doesn't matter how good you are at it at first. You'll get there. There are no magic tricks. There is no secret. You can do anything you want to do, but it's going to take 10,000 hours for you to be good at it if it's a creative endeavor. If it's playing the guitar, the piano, or golf, or painting, or whatever it is, you need to figure on 10,000 hours. That's how long it takes to be good at something, to consider yourself a master at it. But quitting ain't going to cause it to happen, for sure. I've quit a lot of things in my life too, but I try very hard not to. Amanda says, well, I'm organized and good with money. You're going to have to be, because I am not. I look at money as a tool to get me to tomorrow. I don't love money. I don't crave money. And I really ain't very good at going out and getting money. I get enough to survive. That's all I'm looking for. So if you want to help me think of a way to make money, you're going to have to help me do that, because I'm not that guy. Linda says, and I keep a clean house. You can't even walk into my sister's house. Wow. Yep. My house has been pretty clean here lately, too. Amanda says, yes, Linda, I know people like that. Ugh. My first wife, when I first met her parents, when I walked into their house, First of all, on the front porch, there was birds everywhere. The whole front porch was covered with cages, and it stunk to high heaven and loud with these chirpy little green parakeet-type birds. I walked through the front door, and there was a path to the couch and to the bedroom and to the kitchen, and everywhere else, I kid you not, was 2 feet of clothes everywhere. Just a path just big enough for you to walk through to get to the couch or to the kitchen or to the bedroom, and 2 feet of clothes all throughout the house, like a sea of clothes. I've never seen anything like it in my life. That's a red flag, ladies and gentlemen. Big, get away from here, red flag. Angela says, Rich, I'm pretty good at putt-putt golf, but I have never gone actual golfing. I haven't either. Can't say I've hit one golf ball in my life in my front yard. Somebody brought over a golf club and a golf ball, was putting around in my front yard. It's the only time I've ever done it. I've never been to a miniature golf or anything like that. Dennis says, Mom has been doing a lot of art too. Her stuff is awesome, and she is right out of her head. She's right out of her head. Me, I need a subject to copy original is very hard for me, and I'm a perfectionist. Right on. I have that problem too, Dennis. I'm a reconfigurer, right? To create something unique and original is almost impossible for me. But most things have already been created. So what I do is I just look for things that seem like they need to be together and put them together and make something new out of it. That's how I do everything. Whether it be a background or a video or a song, I just recompile things that are already there. Lots of it. I'm a bit of a perfectionist too. Rich S says, exactly, Jake. I am naturally good at some things, but don't pursue something if I'm not feeling it. It is definitely something I got to work on. I hear you. Well, I agree with that sentiment, actually. I don't think you should waste your time doing things you don't feel. I spent the first half of my life trying to be a construction worker because I thought that's what I was supposed to be, because that's what my dad did and that's what I did, right? I'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to work and work until dark every day, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, working my ass off, and hated every minute of it. I was miserable all day long because I'm a night person. I don't wake up until midnight. I don't get sleepy until 7 in the morning. I don't sleep till noon, and I'm perfectly happy like that. Can't be a construction worker like that, though. So I spent the first half of my life trying to be somebody I'm not. Then I woke up one day and said, who am I trying to impress? Nobody cares if I do what that guy does. What if I'm me? What if I do what I'm good at? Is there a place in the world for that? So I started looking. And sure enough, there is a place in the world for a Jake Johnson. I play music. I make people happy. I talk about things. I do podcasts. I teach. That's what I'm good at. So that's what I do. I'm never going to be a construction worker. I don't build things. I create things. There are other people that can't create things, but they can build things. Do what makes you happy. Find something you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. Amanda says, I don't see the point of cow pasture pool. Putt-putt is fun. You mean regular pool? I mean pool. Cow pasture pool. You mean regular golf? Well, I'll tell you, mostly it's a business deal. Men play golf to get out in a field in the middle of nowhere where nobody can hear them, and they talk about things that other people are uncomfortable about, like money. That's why all rich people play golf. Most deals are done on a golf course or in a sauna or something like that. That's the big reason for golf. Other than that, it is a challenging sport, even though it doesn't very much look like it is. It is challenging. Angela says, my house is clean except my room. LOL. I have a tendency to do Mike's laundry and not my own. Plus, I have boxes of storage in my room and every closet in the house. Yeah. I still have boxes I haven't unpacked for moving back into my house. Debbie says, I am anal with everything I do. I reconcile all accounts to the penny every month, and I dare anyone to find dirt in my house, and I clean as I cook. My husband used to laugh at me for it. Well, actually, that's quite a great quality for a woman to have. See, people are all bent out of shape these days about anything a man can do, a woman can do. Yeah, no shit. But if you do what you can do and let the man do what he can do, those two things complement each other quite well. You are a home builder. You clean, you function, you have everything where it's supposed to be. You have your corners tucked in and the pillow fluffed, and your home is functional. If I lived there by myself, it would be a dark, dingy, smoky room with a blanket that's been on the bed for 3 years. Because I don't care. That's not what my mind is on. My mind is on what I got to do. It's linear. You think multiple stuff. I think in a straight line. You put those two things together and you've got a harmonious relationship that functions. Most people ain't figured that out these days. I don't know why. It's not about who can do what better. It's about how can you complement each other or do things that make everybody better. Behind every great man is a great woman. That's a fact. Look it up. There's never been a great man that wasn't held up by a great woman. That's a fact. Dennis says, they are building a brand new putt-putt at the beach. I'll show it off next time when they open it. Or I'll show it off when they open it. Cool. Linda says, I'm good at a lot of things. I bet you are. Angela says, Rich, I would love to go anytime. Putt-putt golfing? Rich says, Michael W. Smith has a song called A Place in the World. It's a pretty song, although I'm not a big fan of his. Who's Michael W. Smith? A Place in the World. I'll have to listen to it. And Debbie says, he would lay on the couch with a blanket and get up to go to the bathroom, and when he got back, the blanket was folded. Because if I walked by, I just did it, not thinking he was coming back. Right on. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. Keep the house functioning. You are a nester. You like to have your house in order. That's a beautiful thing to have. I can't do that at all. That's not even in my brain. Dennis Bigfoot says, I thought she meant cow patty bingo, LMAO. Yeah, or tipping cows is what I pictured when she said that. Cow pasture pool. Dennis says, patty. Cow patty. Right, I got you. Not patty, patty. Amanda says, I do what I need to do while Jake is at work and have dinner ready for him when he gets home. I don't like cleaning around people. I get into a rhythm and get it done. Right on. Bad Shit Crazy says, what's up? And you do a fine job too, by the way. And thank you for your efforts, which is why I work so hard, because you do a good job and you deserve it. Amanda says, hey, Bad Shit Crazy. What's up, Bat? Nice to see you. How are you doing today? I hope well. Angela says, my thing in life has always been taking care of other people. I'm the oldest of 8. Wow. I guess I just was born for it. I'm almost 59 and still taking care of somebody. Well, that's wonderful. And it's a great honor to be a caretaker of other people. That's a beautiful thing, a beautiful job that is worth all of the thanks that it deserves. And it's beautiful that you can do that. My mother was like that. She was basically the mom of her sisters. And there was like I don't know, 5 or 6 of them, maybe 7. And she basically raised all of them. I, on the other hand, was basically an only child. I have a sister, but she's 7 years older than me. So by the time I was born, she was already getting ready to get rambunctious. And by the time I was 7 or 8 years old, she was already out and dating, gone. So I didn't have that much time with her. So I basically was an only child. Linda says, I agree, Amanda. Plus, your time with him should be dedicated to him, not doing other things. Amen. And that's very much appreciated. It is not lost on me. Amanda says, yes, Linda. And thank you, Jake. My pleasure. Thank you. Do you have any idea how long it's been since somebody worked that hard to please me? That's fantastic. That makes me want to work twice as hard to please you back. John H. says, David Mann was a great graffiti artist who painted motorcycles and Harleys on canvas. He is American. Right on. I've probably seen some of his work then. Dennis says, my mom is one of 8. Right on. They had big families back then. Angela says, Amanda, I can only clean the living room when Mike isn't at therapy because he is in my way. I hear you. Angela says, I like the song Less Like Me by Zach Williams. It's my theme song, Less Like Me. Well, right now, currently, I'm working on a song called Leave On, and when I get my voice back enough that I can actually sing it, I'm gonna. I can't do it right now, but I'll get there. More like Jesus and less like me. I like it. You ever heard that song, Jesus and Mama? That's my theme song. Jesus and Mama always loved me, even when the devil took control. Jesus and Mama always loved me, this I know. I'm 17 and knew it all. Thoughts were big and my dreams were small. So many roads, somehow I chose the wrong one. Headstrong, stubborn, couldn't be told. Like a wild man, couldn't be controlled. And I can't remember the rest of the song. Anyway, it's a good song. Debbie says, they had big families because they did not have TV. What else was they going to do? I hear you. Yep. They didn't have TV, and for some reason, they were way more into sex than these youngsters are today. And I don't understand that. They're into perverted sex, but they're not into normal sex, and I don't get that. I can't imagine a life like that. Amanda says, right, Angela? I would make my kids go play outside. If they were home, I would beat someone if they walked across my wet floor. Right on. Well, Linda says, LOL, Amanda. In my younger days, I was a bounce off the wall kind of guy. I slept 4 hours a night, and if I was awake, I was busy doing something. And the older I get, the less of that happens, and the more sleeping I do. And finding the energy or the willpower to get up and accomplish a thing get harder every day. So get it while you can, because when it goes away for sure. Angela says, I left home at 16, graduated on my own at 17, and then joined the Army National Guard. Right on. Well, it's nice that you served, and thank you for your service. I was on my own when I was about 13 years old, 12 or 13. I started working when I was 11. Probably started working when I was 10, but I started working full time when I was 11. Quit school, went to work. By the time I was 14, I was living in a condo in Bartow, Florida with a girl and was the foreman of the job I worked at. Things were different in those days. Now they would call that child abuse. I called it growing up. Rich S says, is everyone here retarded? Probably. I'm curious to know what we all do for a living. I try to do as little as possible. So I have a brain job, but always thought I should be a landscape designer. What brain job do you do there, Dennis? Rich. I make t-shirts and do podcasts and play music for a living. Which I don't make a very good living at any of them. So. Shh. Nobody asked you. Amanda says, and I had a rule for my kids. They were only allowed 3 toys at a time per kid in the living room, and they did good with it, so my house was never cluttered with toys. Oh, Lord, I've stepped on Legos until I have nightmares about it. I still shudder when I put my feet down barefooted, thinking I might step on some sharp, ungodly toy. Angela says, yep, I love that song, Jesus and Mama. It's a good song. You know, I played on the road with that band. Confederate Railroad's the name of the band. And I've got a picture of me and the lead singer signing autographs. His name was Danny Shirley. They also did that song, Trashy Women, and Queen of Memphis, and Daddy Never Was a Cadillac Kind. They had quite a few hit songs in the 90s. Amanda says, I am a retarded ASE certified mechanic. And Linda says, yep, graduation at 17 and was on my own with 3 jobs. I've done that 3-job thing before. Can't keep that up for long. John says, I was working in my dad's scrapyard, stripping down car engines. Right on. I've done that before, too. Angela says, Amanda, when my kids were younger, I had a friend live with me to take care of the house and kids while I worked 2 to 3 jobs at a time to pay for all the bills. You go, girl. I love a good mother. Those are so underappreciated in the world. It's so nice to have a good mother out there. Amanda says, well, I did too. In their rooms. They could mess up their rooms. Right on. Arcade pianos. Message retracted. I can't read it if you retract it, Arcade. Hello. Welcome to the show. Angela says, what nuke? What nuke? I don't know. What are we talking about? Amanda says, dang, Angela. Linda says, I'm a professional mom. Last one is 12, and I retarded from taking any more kids in. I don't blame you there. You've done quite a lot of great service to the world, Linda. Oh. Silly. Rich S says, Angela Ashkins, thank you for your service. Military is number 1 on my list of appreciation and respect. Thank you, Rich. And John says, Amanda, just nuked him. Rich says, why do you keep saying retarded instead of retired? Because I'm a comedian and I do that. Because it's there. Because why not? Linda says, I used to manage a law office and did accounting until my brain aneurysms. That's terrible. I've thought about becoming a lawyer, but they're just so sleazy. I just don't want to be that kind of guy. I guess pastor ain't much different, but what can you do? I work with what I got. Amanda says, LOL, Rich, he's being funny. See? Rich says, for a second, I thought you were retarded. I am functionally retarded. Look at what I do for a living. Jesus. Hi. Have we met? Do you see how much money I'm raking in? Functionally retarded. But I do what I love, so that's something. Arcade says, I erased my own comments like 007 for privacy. I am worried about the possible nuke tonight starting World War III. Well, stop worrying. It'll be all right. I'm with you, Arcade, but you know I have the answer. That's it. That'll fix everything. Please do hit that like button, everybody. Subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available in the chat box. Most importantly, though, hit that subscribe button. Press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be online. Smash that like button. It's free. It's effortless. It's right in front of you. It really does help the channel with the algorithms, and it helps us get recommended to other people. Won't you do that, please? Share this video with somebody you love. Better yet, share it with somebody you don't love. Bring them into the family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid. Make your own Kool-Aid as long as you're thinking critical. That's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And hey, if you dig what you hear tonight and you'd like to see more of it, and you'd like to see what my cats are up to one of these days, go to paypal.me/jakejohnsonband or Cash App $JakeJohnsonband. Every little bit helps. It is a win-win. It is a blessing to me, but it is a blessing to you too. How do I know that? It's affirmed in the Bible. God notices these things. He does. Now, I'm going to do everything in my power to be worthy of all that support that I'm hoping for by answering all your questions and comments and providing you with endless amounts of retarded comedy. Thank you. Back to you. See? Fix everything. And hot, too. Rich S says, nah, man. Love and respect for you, pal. Same here, Rich. Don't you worry about what I say. I'm just running off at the mouth, leaning into the madness. I don't mean half of it, and the rest of it, I'm dead serious about. John H. says, ain't never gonna happen. What ain't ever gonna happen? Oh, the nuke thing? Yeah, probably not going to happen. I mean, it could, but not likely. You'd have to believe we actually have those things in order for them to happen. Debbie says, I was a contract worker. I was a photo retoucher. When a teenager got a picture took and they had zits, or when the photo is printed, there was no zits. I did that. I did the artwork on the negative. That's awesome. I have studied graphic arts, and I do a little bit of it in my T-shirt design work. But basically, it's pretty much this kind of stuff. That's what I do, just straight up whatever will fit on a T-shirt. But the layout stuff, part of it is the same, and the cutting the film and all that stuff has to happen. And making screens, reverse or light-sensitive screens and that sort of thing. So I do use a little bit of what I learned in graphic arts, but I never really got into it. I got offered a job one time for a magazine down in Oriental, North Carolina called In Touch Magazine. They wanted to hire me as an editor, or not an editor, a graphic editor, layout design sort of stuff. But it would have been a long journey to go from my house to there. And it wasn't right, so I didn't take that job, and here I am. Rich S says, just don't hit the like button twice because that will unlike it. Right on. If you're going to hit it more than once, hit it 3 times. But if you hit it more than once, you're playing with it. Angela says, I was not a good mom, really. I went through addiction on and off, raising my kids, sober for a while, doing meth for a while, sober again, meth again, made it, sold it. I wasn't the best mom. How exactly do you make it again? I'm just kidding. Linda says, listen, this world's hard for everybody. But the beautiful thing about it is we have forgiveness and we have the ability to make corrections to our past. You have the forgiveness part or you wouldn't be here. Now it's your job to make it better. So lean forward and put your best foot forward and keep going. And one day at a time, we'll do it together if you need to. But don't you worry about what you did in the past. It's over. It's time to fix what's in the future. And you're quite all right. You're okay in my book. Linda says, I have to pay my taxes this month. I'll catch you in the middle of next month. Oh, I ain't worried about that. You take care of you, Linda. Yes, ma'am. Please take care of you first. Don't you worry about me. Amanda says, man, it's freaking hot. It is kind of hot. We have an air conditioner and 2 fans, and it's still hot. But you never let them see you sweat. Rich says, Angela Ashkins, never too late to find God, so glad you did. Amen. Angela, you've been accepted into this family, so now you have a chance to be the best mom in the world. Find somebody that has a need and fill it. That's the best way you can do that. Angela says, I had a brain aneurysm in 2020. It left me having seizures and migraines. I'm sorry to hear that, Angela. You just keep praying to the Lord and hope that it heals. It may not, but sometimes the Lord puts things on us to humble us a little bit. Maybe you make enough mistakes and things like that occur to keep you from making those mistakes again. I don't know. There's a reason for everything. I do know that. No such thing as a coincidence or a happenstance. Everything happens for a reason. So be glad that you're with us and always do the best you can with what you have to work with and always talk to God first about everything. As for the seizures and migraines, there's a thing called Emgality that will help you with those migraines. The seizures, I would strongly recommend you trying mushrooms. And if not mushrooms, marijuana. Small doses, edibles will work fine. Try it. Not to get high, but just smooth the functionality. It may help. Rich S. says, well, actually, it can be too late to find God, but I am still glad you did. It cannot be too late. Nope, until you draw your last breath, you have the opportunity to repent. And even before your mind goes dark, you have the opportunity to think about repenting. God knows the difference. And I'm willing to bet, I can't prove this, but I'm willing to bet that right up until the moment your time is called for Judgment Day, even while you're waiting in line, up until the moment you're standing before God, I'm willing to bet he'll allow you to repent up until then. So you have time. Cowboys 8-panel. Hello, darling. Long time no see. How you doing? I hope you're doing well out there. We miss you around here. John says, Amanda, it's hot over here. We got a heat wave. I thought it was me, man. Oh, pause. It's not you. It's hot. It's like 100 degrees out here. Amanda says, hi, Cowboys. And Linda says, Angela, I had 2 surgeries. It left me with the same plus nerve damage on my right side. Yep, I was in a motorcycle wreck about 2 years ago, and now I have nerve damage in my fingers and in my neck because I hit the ground like a bullwhip. I wasn't going very fast, and as motorcycle wrecks go, it was a pretty easy one, but I hit the ground pretty hard. I was out. I was on my back for a month. I couldn't do anything but this. I couldn't move my fingers at all. And then it felt like I was wearing meat gloves, like my bones were inside of gloves that were loose fitting, and it just, my fingers burn and itch. They still do on the inside, and you can't really scratch it. It's a weird feeling. And they go numb now. My hands have always gone numb, but they go really numb now. Amanda says, LOL, right, Nugget? I'm freaking burning up. I want the winter back. It's coming. Don't you worry. You missed the coldest part of it, so just wait. Angela says, Rich, I had God that whole time. I've had God for as long as I can remember. I did meth to keep up with all the jobs I had to do in order to make enough money to raise 3 kids by myself. No child support. Didn't work out that way, though, did it? Meth has a nasty knack of causing you to not be able to think critically or long-term thoughts. It's all quick, irrational thoughts. That'll ruin a plan. Amanda says, and the least amount of clothes possible. Right on. Yep, you can put on enough clothes to be warm, but you cannot take off enough to be cool. Arcade says, Angela Askins, do sauna because drugs are stored in fat. The price to pay in detoxes is living again. The effects back to the blood, then brain, but it is a must to clean. I hear you, Arcade. That's good advice. However, we're talking about issues of the brain here, and there are studies to the effect of what I'm saying. So I'm giving good advice here. This is not right off the top of my head. Angela says, no welfare. My kids had Indiana's form of Medicare, though. That's good. That's something. And I've been clean for 13 years now. That's excellent. Angela says, I've got nerve damage in my fingertips now, and I can't do anything with the tips of my fingers. I'm having that trouble, too. And I don't like it because I'm a musician. I need those. Debbie says, one pic I will never forget. A dominant type woman posed with her dog. She had a huge zit on her butt, and I had to take out her dog's red rocket. LOL. That's horrible. Did you leave the zit? Arcade Piano says the drugs are stored forever. I learnt this from American Old Man who took recreational drugs in the Hendrix era in the late 60s. And he, 4 decades later, when he started sauna and gym, he got high like a kite. Interesting. That would be cool. Relive the good old days. Amanda says, well, it was snowing, so I didn't miss much cold. It snowed a little. And Angela says, marijuana is what I do. Gummies and weed. I hear you. Does it help? Was I correct in my assessment? I'm not a doctor, but I do play one on TV. Sometimes I think that God knows a lot more than we do. And he put things on this earth for every occasion, including ones like that. That's just my opinion, though. Who knows if I'm right? Debbie says, nope, I removed the zit, too. Ha ha. That's hilarious. I would have made the red rocket bigger for the tough woman. I would have made it like life-sized right beside her. That's just me, though. I probably wouldn't have kept that job very long. All right, boys and girls, it is 10:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm ready to go to bed. I got to get up and go to work in the morning and finish that 1,000 T-shirt order and make me a little bit of cash and then give it all away, because that's the nature of life. AC/DC. Forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. All right. Kevin says, good night, everyone. Kevin, you've been quiet tonight. God bless you, sir. Thank you for being here. And thank you, ladies. I hope all of you Find some solace. Learn to breathe. In 2 seconds, out 2 seconds. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Concentrate on doing that just right. 5 minutes. Nothing in the head. Just do that. Tell me tomorrow or tell me Friday if it helped. Cowboy says, smiley face. I'm sorry we didn't get to talk much, Cowboys. I miss you, girl. Come back and see us. Dennis says, good night, everyone. Love and peace. And Amanda says, good night. See y'all all Friday. Arcade Piano says, I quit weed in 2010. Then I did sauna in 2017, and I got high. Well, congratulations, Arcade. Maybe you shouldn't do sauna. Maybe you should wean off the sauna, buddy. Come back off the ledge. And Linda says, thank you all and good night, heart. And John says, good night, everybody. Have a blessed night, and I love you all. John, Linda. Kevin says, Jake, I just have a lot on my mind. Well, Kevin, if you want to talk, email me. Here's my email address on the screen right here on the left-hand side, untetheredlivestream@gmail.com. Write me an email. If that's not efficient, I'll send you my phone number. You can call and we'll talk. I'm here for you, buddy. Debbie says, Jake, I wanted to keep my job, LOL. Right on. I hear you. But sometimes you just can't walk away from something that good. You know what I'm saying? John says, all-round mind for dinner now. Excellent. That's fantastic. Batshit Crazy says, birds, flags, peace, and peace. Or pieces. Birds, flags, and pieces. Nice. Arcadia says, I did 500 saunas, then I am clean. You are so awesome. I just don't think I could live up to that. I don't even take a bath. I don't know if I could survive a sauna. Our right side, says Amanda. What? I don't understand. Oh, your right. Oh, your right side. That's not your left side right here? Right here. That's not your left side right here? It's my left side. So I guess it's your right side. I guess the image that I'm looking at is flipped around backwards. So it's on your right side. UntetheredLivestream@gmail.com. All right. I've had enough. I'm going to bed. I love you guys. I'll see you Friday. I enjoyed the conversation. I hope you ladies get to feeling good. I hope that you find some reason to be passionate and happy and find something to do to take your mind off of what's going on. I know life is hard, but I'm here for you if you need me. Email me, call me, whatever you got to do, I'm here. Except for right now, I'm going to bed. Angela says, it's illegal in my state, but all my doctors know I do it, and they say it does help with seizures. Do you say it helps with seizures? Do you feel a difference? That's what I'm asking. Arcade says, love, peace and love, Arcade. And thank you for being here. And I'm just busting your balls, man. Don't worry about me. Angela says, good night, all. I love you all. I love you, too. I love each and every one of you. I love you true from the bottom of my heart. I mean that. And I meant what I said about reaching out. If you need to talk, I'm here. And we'll make something happen one way or the other, good or bad. Or we'll just listen and let you talk. That's fine. I don't have to give you any advice. I can listen. I got a big ear. Debbie says, good night, all y'all. Debbie, sweet dreams, sweetheart. All right. Thank you for watching.